I think one of the absolute biggest things for me is looking at the reality of the opportunity that Brock Purdy has, right? I think we all know that Patrick Mahomes is chasing greatness, right? I think he's chasing that GOAT title. And he knows it. We know it. Listen, don't be fooled. As much as these guys play it down and pay homage to the greats, they want that title for themselves. So when you look at Patrick Mahomes being in the situation to get another Super Bowl title, you really start to sit there and be like, well, if he does win it, it does add to the legacy. It does add to that conversation as far as, how great he is and, the trajectory of his career and potentially what kind of run he could have and where he could end up as far as being on that mantle. So, yeah, when you start looking at where Patrick Mahomes can go if he wins this game, it really starts to turn into that discussion and that conversation. Then on the flip side, you got Brock Purdy, right? This is an individual who basically came out of nowhere that nobody expected to go out there and play the way that they have, and they're now in a situation to make a name for themselves. And it's a great story. It's a great story because it not only changes the narrative as far as what we consider to be a great quarterback at, being, number one in the draft and all that kind of stuff, but it changes how quarterbacks and scouts are going to be looked, or how scouts are going to look at quarterbacks, moving forward. Is that guy who was taken in the third round actually worth a damn? Is that guy who was taken in the fifth round actually worth a damn, or whatever round later on it is? When you've got situations like Caleb Williams complaining about, oh, I don't want to go to the Bears. I want to go wherever I want to go. And I get it to a degree. Other people have made that gripe and made that claim and then made certain decisions to go on and go where they want to go. But I feel like there's a lot of entitlement that comes to that first round draft pick number, right? There's a lot of hype, there's a lot of ego, and some of these guys are a complete bust. Some of these guys don't make it, and some do. But over the last 20 years, right, we've seen quarterbacks who have been drafted deep in the draft, who nobody thought they would go out there and be great, becoming legendary. So it's very interesting to see. A lot of people hated on Purdy. I remember last year when I was advocating for the guy, people were like, Jay, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. You're crazy. You're not making any sense of it. And I think at the end of the day, he's definitely shocked the world. I like the story. I like the kid. I do see the issues, though. I do see the weaknesses. You guys know I call it out. I don't just talk about the good stuff. We talk about the bad stuff as well. I think one big thing that Purdy is lacking is his ability to throw over the line. That's the biggest thing for me. His ability to throw over the line is his biggest fault, because everyone knows from the Ravens and 49ers game that if you put your hand up or if you pressure him, it's very easy to bat that ball down. And because he doesn't have the height to basically throw over that line, that's a huge disadvantage. And, that's stuff that the scouts do look at when they do draft. So, you could kind of understand why, even though he is talented in other realms and other skills, that they would, include that in their report. So when you look at someone like a Josh Allen, who's 6'3", 6'4", 6'5", who has that height, that can look over the line, that can run through defenders and be able to read defenses and make the plays that they need to. With the addition of the height, that goes in their favor. And that's something that Brock Purdy has had to work through, and he's done it. That's the beautiful thing about it. He's actually done it. And so when you take a deep dive into those specific finite details as far as Brock Purdy being the quarterback that he is, you start realizing that, yeah, the deck was stacked against him. The deck was definitely stacked against him, and he found a way to go out there and win and play with the best of them. And so that's the conversation, right? That's the conversation. You're looking at a man who everyone basically wrote off. He was finally given a chance due to Trey Lance and Jimmy G and all that kind of stuff. the whole change as far as that 49ers franchise. And we talk about moments. We talk about moments. Everyone thought that last year was his last moment. Oh, he's never going to do it again. And then this year he comes out, and I told everybody that this kid would be the franchise. I told everybody that he'd be the man for the 49ers. And lo and behold, here we are. Second year, he shows that, hey, it wasn't a fluke. I go out there, I win the NFC championship, and now I'm in the Super Bowl of what I should have probably been in last year. And now I'm going up against the other potential, greatest quarterback of the league. And I got a solid chance at it. It's really interesting. It's a great story. And like I said, when you start really diving into it and when you really start, taking down, everything that this kid has done and what he can do on the field, he can find a way to win. And that's the beauty of it. I think we're going to have a great, great Super Bowl. I think it's not going to be boring, as other people are saying, oh, it's going to be boring. Patrick Mahomes. I get it. Everyone's been talking about the fatigue, right? The fatigue of watching the same man in a championship game or the same quarterback in a Super Bowl or the same team for that matter. The reality is this. If you're sick of that team being there, then maybe someone else should beat them. That's it. You know, then everyone got into the conspiracies, and it's going to be this, and it's going to be that. It's the red and the purple, Jay. It's going to be the 49ers and the Ravens, and it's going to be this, and it's going to be that. Well, it ends up turning out to be the Chiefs and the 49ers, and now you don't hear it anymore. The red and the purple don't matter. I never want to hear about the logo anymore. I don't. I don't. Because now someone's going to say, well, Jay, they changed they changed the conspiracy at the last second. They had to change it because everybody caught on. Well, how about they made the conspiracy? How about that? How about they made the scheme? They made the script so that everyone fed into it. And for 18 weeks, you had people dropping millions of dollars based on a conspiracy that everyone thought that it was going to be the damn Ravens and the 49ers. Could that conspiracy have been dropped by FanDuel, DraftKings, whichever sportsbook you like to use, Caesars, MGM, and all that? Oh, yeah, we're going to make sure that we have that red and purple logo big, nice, and bright for you, and you can feed into that. And, yeah, it's going to be them in the Super Bowl. Go ahead, place your bets. And when it's all said and done, all that money is gone now. I don't know.